Hello everyone. Yes, welcome to this another amazing special episode of Linkedpreneur, which is going to give you an all new, different, unique experience in itself. We have never had so many guests on a normal but a special episode on Linkedpreneur, and today we're going to have some amazing minds from all across Southeast Asia to share with all of you the most in demand and indeed the most needed business strategy today. Yes, 2020 has been a year which was the most unpredictable one, and all our business plans and scalability plans, expansion plans had gone for a toss. We know it, you know it. We thought this time, which brought so much of change, let's scratch down everything and prepare ourselves from a level ground, from a zero ground. How do we do that? The question which I had up my mind with my partners, how do we do it if we are thinking? I'm sure many of us are also thinking and somewhere stuck up to find out what's the right way to go in 2021. Before I uncover those techniques and strategies that you can implement on your business as well as on your personal life, today with my amazing guest on this show, I want to give you a big hi and a welcome on this special episode of Linkedpreneur, and we are launching today something super insightful, which I'm not going to tell you now. Let's keep that as a secret. Hold up. But in the comment section, do let us know from where are you tuning in and what is that one concern that you have with your business strategy for 2021. Share that concern with us, because we are going to bring that out to our guests today, and they will help you navigate those problems, those situations with their experience in a more smoother and a faster manner. So guys, it's your day. Tell us from which city, town, country are you tuning in, and Rama, Kareem, all my friends out here who actually went ahead and opened their fast for today. Guys, I hope you had a beautiful fast opening as well. And indeed, do share your questions. Also, guys, there's so much fun that's going to happen in the next 60 minutes. Don't keep it till yourself. Click on the share button and make sure you share this video and take it to as many people as you want, so that they can also find out the business strategies that can help you get more prepared for 2021. With no further ado, I want to call someone first and foremost with me on this special episode. And this person plays a very integral role to bring this launch to where it is today. Indeed, we have always noticed that there's something called one-man army. There's something called one person do it all. And that's great. It's amazing. But you know, the power of team, people, collaboration, partnership has no replacement at all. Like I just the other day reading the news, what Grab is going for a SPAC at a 40 billion, and indeed Fave has been acquired by Pine Labs and going to India. So indeed, so much is happening, and all of this is possible because of the partnership they had, because of the collaboration they have. And one such collaboration which we at Linkedpreneur Beyond 99 together have is with a wonderful person out here who is Santosh Abraham, the founder of Research NXT. It's an innovative marketing company that helps you with your research and so much more. So let's call up Santosh with all of us here. Hey, Santosh.
Hi, Khushbu. Thanks for having me on board on this.
Absolutely, Santosh. I think we both coming together alongside our two amazing partners. I think this launch has come to light. It's been amazing the way we started I remember about 6 months ago, And then finally, today, after so much of work and back and forth, we are here ready to bring all of you guys to something which is going to be revealed in another 10 to 15 minutes, guys. Hold up tight. So, Santosh, tell us about a little bit about Research Next and what got you into it.
Absolutely. Before I start about Research Next, let me start about the story of this report. So when Anil reached out to me and then said that, hey, things are changing in business and now it's the new normal. And we would like to share insights with our community with respect to what businesses are working on. I thought it's an amazing idea because across the world, businesses are right now trying to find out the best way and best practices to navigate through the pandemic, the new and live in the new normal. And it was great to have 7 of the most interesting leaders I spoke to so far, sharing the way they have shaped up their businesses in different segments and also different business functions. And I would say we created this report while our organization was reshaping itself and getting adopted to the new normal, right from having a completely remote workforce to managing everything within the lockdown. In fact, the city I am from right now, Pune, we I don't take pride in that, but we are kind of number one right now with respect to COVID cases, and are completely in the lockdown scenario. And all our team within Research NXT, a team of 15 plus members, everyone is working from home and everyone is in different locations. And that's how things have changed in the new normal. We all are virtually at different places, physically at different places, but work virtually together. And Research NXT, we are a market research company. We focus on custom engagement solutions for B2B tech marketers. We help them with prospect databases, account intelligence, and integrated marketing campaigns. And this particular project was an effort to help all our clients as well as the community of Linkedpreneur to help navigate in their business. Yeah.
I just realized I was on mute. So, indeed, Santosh, I think that vision alignment was the first thing that brought us together. So, as we spoke about our partners, and you mentioned the name of Anil, you worked with Chetan, let me get those two people as well on the stream right here. Hey, Anil, welcome to this special episode. And hey, Chetan, welcome to the special episode. It's lovely to have both of you with us today. Of course, indeed, two of you guys have played an integral role alongside, of course, Santosh, to bring this entire thing. So I would love to hear how was your journey and how did you make it possible?
Chetan deserves to go first, of course, because so much things behind the stage. Chetan, stage is for you.
I think Chetan just got hung up. So Anil, you get started.
Wow, I get this opportunity. So nice. And you know, I'm a sales guy. Sales guy always jump on all the opportunities because we know that it knocks once. But yeah, hello, lovely people. Nice to see all of you on this special episode of Linkedpreneur Stories. And this is a special launch of, you will soon come to know. So yes, like Santosh mentioned, I was in the backstage in the green room while he was talking. So I still remember that day about 6.5 months back when I approached Santosh, because Santosh and we worked together in a few of my past organizations, a great organization to work with, which is Research Next. And we kind of did about his first few reports as Research Next with one of my organizations. And the way the whole experience which Research Next was driving for us in terms of understanding the consumers, understanding their whole behavioral pattern, especially on the B2B side of it, I was like thrown away from that. And I said, Santosh, we need to kind of connect back again, especially for the Southeast Asia market. And that's where, when I spoke to Santosh about 6.5 months back, and I remember that conversation very well, Santosh, if you recall, you were asking a lot of questions, why this, why that. But then when we saw and we got together, said, yes, there's going to be new normal very soon for all of us. The whole world is moving from the offline to the online. And how do the businesses react to such an environment or such a new normal which is there? And how would they come out of this scenario which is there? And this was a global effect which was happening post-pandemic. And that's where I think you kind of quickly picked up that idea and you nodded to the whole fact. Thank you, first of all, from the whole Beyond 99 team for accepting and becoming a partner to this wonderful report, which we are going to launch today.
My pleasure.
Absolutely, Anil. I think thank you so much for taking down the memory lane, how things even got started and indeed came to the level where we are today. With this, of course, so much of things are happening. And I'm so sad that Chetan had to drop off because of some trouble. I'm sure we're going to get him up because one person that I would have definitely want to hear how was his experience bringing it to life, because he was the one who made it even possible to an extent. But
Absolutely.
yes. Absolutely. So okay, guys, a big roundup. So Chetan, if you're hearing us, comment up, make it happen, guys. You are the one who is the tech guy behind. So with this, of course, Santosh and Anil, are we ready to actually have wonderful people with us as well? So people, everyone, some of you would know already who's joining us. Some of you indeed are excited to know who's joining us. Of course, these two amazing guys and handsome men to say are already here, but do not worry. I've got more handsome men for you indeed today who's going to share so much. So tell me, who are you most excited about in the comment section and what's your question with them? Today, it's going to be your day. Trust me, we're going to bring so many questions and it is time sensitive. Of course, it's very difficult to get them. So make sure you really put out the best question, which can have the maximum value for yourself and everybody who is listening out here. Also, don't forget the share button. Click on it right now and share it with everyone, because unless you share, you don't grow, guys, because sharing is caring, right? With this, let's have some more amazing people. Are we ready for it?
Oh, yes. We all said to rock.
Okay, so the first guest which we have with us today is an amazing soul who also all of our guests have been on Linkedpreneur at some point of time. So you guys have been introduced to them, but today we are going to deep dive into different aspects of their life. So bringing in on screen is Anil Gautam as an MD to DHL e-commerce, and as well as we are having the co-founder of SCIKEY coming in and joining us. Indeed, we have Anil, the head of product from AirAsia. And finally, we have the CGO of AirAsia, Ravi, Shankar. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the episode of Linkedpreneur. So,
hey guys.
Yeah.
Hey everyone.
Hi everybody.
Hi, Anil, Aaron, Ravi, Karun, everybody. As we get started, of course, I would love if each one of you can take a few seconds and tell a few things that you would like to share about your experience or about yourself before myself, Santosh, and Anil start shooting some questions to you guys. It's over to you. I'll start with Anil first.
Yep, sure. So I think under the new norm in DHL, we have a new way of looking at it. Everything has changed, yet nothing has changed. And the reason why I say that is because the way business is being done has only got changed, but the business is almost the same. It's just the channels have changed and the way we do business has changed. And for a company like DHL e-commerce, which is into domestic delivery and cross-border delivery, we continue to do the same thing, but we innovate around what our customers are asking us to do. And a lot of things have changed in the last 15 years. So we say we are still delivering shipment, but the way we're delivering shipments is changing. The way our customers are selling is changing. So everything has changed, yet nothing has changed. It is also true in a different way. Quite an oxymoron, let's call it that way.
No, that's in just a few words, you said a lot, Anil. It actually makes a lot of sense. But of course, I would not reflect on it now. I would take it over to Ravi. Ravi, what do you have to add about yourself, the time, the experience, and more?
Yes, AirAsia is a lot of news.
It's just been a complete change of what we do. I mean, unlike Anil, what we are doing now is completely different what we were doing, and a lot more actually. So quite a few things that we had to learn, quite a few things that we had to innovate, quite a few changes we had to do in culture. So it's been a roller coaster life, and Yeah, happy to share more, as we go along. Yeah.
Superb, Ravi. Let's hear it from Karun. What about you, Karun?
Well, for us, I think we had pretty much declared the last year as the year of transformation officially. And when I say transformation, it was not just transformation in the form of words or something which is being preached usually in the industry, but it was like in reality living every day of your life, especially at work or in a professional context, transforming the way you do things, almost every day, and then reaching a point where you finally might start feeling that, okay, this is a place where now I think we can further start building upon. So everything got scrambled because of the pandemic. Most of us really had to kind of start from ground zero in a lot of ways. And from there to reaching a platform where then again you feel you are ready for the next big leap. So I think that's been the journey, like, for all of us at SCIKEY. Yeah.
Makes sense, Karun. Absolutely. And how about you, Aaron? Finally.
Wow. Before I dive into that, let me just shout out a big thank you for you guys for organizing this. I think you just made an amazing stage with such amazing people here. So kudos to you guys for that. To answer your question, I would say when COVID first hit, it was like a river, calm river, and then it was like a waterfall. I said this many times before. It all of a sudden just came in and it just changed so many things in such a short period of time. And I think it gave us that short period of time to adapt and adjust. But now looking back at it, it's been a year now. How have we changed? How have we adapted? What has stayed? What could probably revert back? Well, this is where we're here today to talk about that. So yeah, back to you, Kush.
No, lovely. I think I like the river analogy, and everybody of you have shared some things in this little 30 to 40 seconds, but that's not all. Santosh, I'm not going to leave you without asking you as well. How would you reflect on the year and about how things have been at your end, knowing that it is still continuing, because Pune is in bad shape?
Oh, well, it was a completely different way of working for us. As you know, startups have this habit of, everyone working together, sharing ideas, and, being together in the room. You guys know it much better than me. And the moment this happened, all the team was spread across. So we started getting onto, virtual environment. It was new to us. We started figuring out the way how we would start, using video calls, which was very new to some of the team members. And but what I see is overall productivity has increased. People have got good amount of personal time, and it was a roller coaster ride for us. It was a journey, and when I reflect back, it helped us optimize a lot of things within the organization.
I completely agree to that. I think productivity has increased. Personal life has got better, but to an extent, of course, the stress levels have also taken to its new heights. And all of this is what we are going to touch as well, guys, today. Business strategy is nothing unless you are at your best. And these guys did swim through, was able to find a way and have further better strategies to look at for 2021. Now, let's look at one thing. Okay. So one challenge, which every one of you, this question is to all, is anticipating for this year, 2021. What's that one challenge which you are thinking that businesses, individuals, people who are corporates, professionals, and even who are startup founders are possibly going to face for the rest of the 9 months that we're looking at for 2021? I'll start with Karun here and followed by Anil.
Okay, sure, Kush. So actually, that's a great question. And if I were to really summarize it in a line, most of us, whether you talk of organizations, businesses, individuals, leaders, one of the biggest challenge for all of us for the next, let's say, 3 to 4 quarters is going to be that, we will be required to be chasing a constantly moving target, in the context of our business. Because so much has changed over the last 12 months that it is literally, a little difficult to the extent of being impossible to really have a steady, flow of things and to really be in a steady state when it comes to achieving your business goals and living, the day-to-day metrics as well. So I think chasing a constantly moving target is going to be the theme, for next 3 to 4 quarters for most of the businesses and leaders. Yeah.
So let's just say, stop thinking of expecting any stability. If
Yes.
that's okay,
Yeah.
so Karan, not bad.
I
How
mean,
about
prepare your mind, body, your soul, everything to be living that way. So, people talk of agility. It's not a concept. It's the way you live, So I think that's what is really going to be making the difference between the organizations that are moved from here to the next, stage versus the rest of them.
True.
Thanks.
makes sense, Karan? Absolutely. How about yourself, Anil? What's the one challenge? And Anil, as you answer, I really want to bring perspective to all my people who are watching right now. Thank you so much for joining us for this special episode of Linkedpreneur. And it's amazing to have all of you and join us to listen 6 handsome men. Can I call that? Okay, guys. Yes, of course, I can say that. 100% indeed. So today, it's not only them. I would love you guys also to tell us in the comment section, what's the challenge that you guys are expecting with your business, with your growth in 2021? Over to you, Anil.
Thanks, Kush. Well, when we entered 2021, like many other people, we felt that we have seen the back of the pandemic, but we had realized in Q4 last year that very little has been understood by people that do we have answers for dealing with this. So we are taking everything on the go. So the biggest challenge for a company like DHL is, the waves that are coming. So different countries are undergoing different kind of waves of peaks of COVID, and the whole penetration, vaccination, and its efficacy is still under question. And there's liberty for people to take or not to take the vaccine. What it means for a logistics company like us is that we would continuously see demand fluctuating. So one, we have a regular demand because people would like to get into e-commerce delivery, send more things individually rather than sending in bulk because there's more e-commerce happening. But what these waves will do is they will give us spikes. So we have handled so many spikes in the last 15 months. We feel we have not seen the back of it. So there is no more 9, 11, 11, 12, 12 spikes. Nowadays, there are COVID spikes, plus we have these spikes to handle. We felt that we were ready to handle another spike until we found another spike in Malaysia in February, which was COVID, lockdown, plus Chinese New Year, plus one of big player in logistics in Malaysia really had a big problem, due to which there was a swell. Nobody can predict these things. So these difficulties do exist. So like Karun was also saying, the demand is fluctuating so much, it's becoming very difficult for companies like us to fulfill things like we thought we would have fulfilled in 2021. So we are just bracing ourselves and taking it on the go. And because we have so much experience in the last 15 years, we know exactly what it takes to handle such kind of spikes. But yes, that's what our biggest challenge is. And to keep our team healthy, because we are frontliners. Our team delivers shipments to so many people, so many contacts in a day. So to ensure that they stay healthy each and every day and fulfill the demands of the customer is the second biggest challenge we see. Yeah.
Not bad. Demand fluctuation is quite a thing. And
Yeah.
DHL on the upper side, I think a lot of people are facing on the lower side as well. And that is one of the challenges to expect. So, of course, we cover 2 challenges, which is the demand fluctuation and as well as not expecting anything to be steady here. What about you, Ravi?
Oh, certainly, we're not. Demand is not a challenge for us because the demand is very low, at least for our flights business. We've seen a bit of a spike when during the end of last year, where the tourism went crazy and people Langkawi was full, the flights were full. That's about it. But yeah, demand is not a problem. I think personally, for me, it's actually keeping the team together remotely. Right, so AirAsia is built on the culture of bringing people together, and then all the transformation that happened so far is based on the people that we have, right? The amazing individuals that came together, and then kept the ship running and then added more few things to our offerings, right? So, but to keep the same level of culture remotely is a challenge. It's a constant learnings for me as well. So yeah, that I would call it my one challenge of 2021. Yeah.
Sure, absolutely. I think we never were in the habit of seeing people around us, especially for myself. I have done it, but I've never seen so many people in client telling, oh, Kush, let's do it virtually. We don't need to travel. I mean, we really climbed like 7-10 years faster than we would have originally. But yes, Aaron, let's hear it from you.
Oh man, I'm definitely getting so much more video calls today compared to last time. I guess right now itself, we got to start thinking about how we survived throughout the past 1 year and how have we adapted towards it. And this year is to look into how can we really strive from it. Because if we start thinking about the past 1 year, it gave us so much learnings from it. There are parts where COVID came in, we couldn't do our business because everything was on lockdown. And then there were parts where slightly opened up, but then there's some restrictions and people were still scared. And then there were part where people were rushing to buy stuff because, hey, malls are finally open and people just rush to buy stuff. So we got so much learning in such a short period of time. So I think now it's about taking all that learning and putting together a plan to be prepared for all these different situations, because we don't know what's going to happen next. We don't know if there's going to be another lockdown. We touch wood, hopefully it doesn't happen, but if it happens again, if it happens again, then how can we better prepare ourselves this time round instead of going through that waterfall all over again?
Absolutely. I think, of course, it's great to hear the four perspective. I know that I have co-host with me, Santosh, Anil, but I don't know. I just feel like getting their opinions as well, because at the end of the day, they have seen world from different sides. And it's indeed, the more the value we put out for all our audiences out here has been the biggest goal of Linkedpreneur and the entire team out here. So, Santosh, even yourself, what challenge are you expecting? Because we came together to come up with business strategy report for 2021. The reason was because we felt the need, right? We felt the gap. So, what is it that was the vision you had, or you are at this point of time thinking that people might feel for 2021?
Yeah. So when the whole scenario started, I was thinking maybe the business will get impacted the most in terms of sales, in terms of clients coming up with requirement. But we had a reverse effect wherein there was a lot of requirement from the client's end, because a lot of physical events turned out to be virtual. And from a B2B standpoint, the marketing and sales strategy changed, which required a lot of research input. The place where I thought we would not face challenge was the place where we faced a lot of challenge, was hiring, completely virtual workforce, wherein right from interview to shortlisting to hiring people, we were all stuck because we were never prepared for this. We were always like in a research from calling people, having multiple rounds of discussions face to face, and then checking out the presentation and then hiring them. So we had to change the whole process. So for me, what I anticipated and what actually happened was completely different. I thought it would be on the business side, but this was more on the production side, where I would see that we had different challenges to handle.
I think that's wonderful, because somewhere the demand was more, somewhere the demand was less, somewhere the hiring was in trouble, the market was changing too fast. I think, Santosh, for you, we have the answer right in our panel. Karunjit is like, it is ready to fight. Come to SCIKEY.
Help us a lot.
No, absolutely. So lovely on that ad, Santosh. It's a genuine problem. Even we faced it. But yes, Anil, go ahead. Love to hear. What do you think is going to be a challenge for 2021?
Oh, I don't think so. There's going to be any challenge for 2021. See, I always say it's a mindset. Look at the last 12 months. Trust me, I'm telling you, look at businesses. Look at AirAsia themselves. They've pivoted. Apart from big loyalty, they moved to the food delivery. They are going to ride hailing. Look at so many other organizations. They're getting their series funding, which is there. So I always feel the challenge is being resilient enough. It's a mindset, which is the most important part. We have to stay put strong. We have to turn around. Today, I could do meetings across 7 countries. In the erstwhile era, I could only probably go to one country, only do 3 meetings. Today, I could do about 7 meetings in a day. So things have changed all positive. And being a sales guy, I think what even I kind of second what Santosh says, for us, there always has been an upward movement on the business side of it. Today, businesses also are realizing they have to speak to partners like us over the call, over the Zoom, and they are completely open to it. Gone are those days they want us a physical interaction with somebody, a salesperson on the ground and do chat with them. So I think it's all good. But yes, one challenge probably we all will face is being resilient enough, stay put strong, think of new ways, and pivot yourself.
I think, Anil, that's a wonderful ad. And for everybody who said, I would love to add my side of the story. I think one of the challenges which I'm personally feeling that is quite possible after speaking to so many people in the networking community is expecting things to get back to normal. You know, this expectation in itself put you in the mind frame of, oh my God, okay, things will get back to normal. And we know it, that it's going to change. And probably that's the reason why we have this new normal. But, you know, back of the mind, people are still hoping to go back to that time which was there before 2020. And this can be one of the biggest challenge where, Anil, I kind of resonate the mindset angle which comes in here is expecting things to get back to normal. And that's not going to happen. It is going to change. People's habits have changed. Behaviors have changed. And we'll see a new side of it. And that's the biggest reason, guys. So to all of you right here, the big moment is right here. So we have heard 7 different challenges. Now you might be wondering, Kush, not fair. You will only show us the challenge side of it and not even give us the solution. That's not the deal, guys. You're here and you don't get the solutions with the brightest minds. Not possible at all. We aren't going to let you go like this. Indeed, the reason why we came in together. What's the vision? Why exactly are we here on this special episode? And what's that surprise? I'm not going to hold up any further, guys. This is the moment. And indeed, I'm so glad that when we are almost here, close to unveiling it, I can also bring in Chetan right up on the stream, and he's got things settled for himself. Hey, Chetan, welcome.
Hi, so sorry. I faced some trouble on my laptop, so I'm here with my iPad. I think I missed a bit of the conversation, but I was catching up with the last question that you asked, Kush, and lovely share by everyone. And I think rightly said, Kush, one thing that's not going to change is the time is not going to come back the way it was. And with so much of uncertainty around, of course, we as an entrepreneur will have to make quick decisions. But the challenge that I think people would be facing as moving in 2021 would be information overload. I think there's so much of information around that it will be overwhelming for entrepreneurs to take decisions, which is the key now, right? Like taking the quick decisions. And therefore, just keeping right balance of mindset and health could be trouble moving ahead. So I think that's one of the challenge I'm seeing here.
Wow. Oh my God. There's so many challenges, and each one of us have actually put across a very different challenge. And I'm sure, guys, everyone who's watching right now can resonate at least one challenge. So tell us in the comment section, whose challenge are you able to resonate with? And what is your suggestion? How would you suggest to come out of that challenge? Because everybody is learning from everybody. Why only us? We want to learn from you as well. So please share how can us, as well as everybody who's watching, can come out of these challenges. Alongside, don't forget, guys, we're going to have an amazing question round as well. And your questions are going to be asked to our wonderful guests out here. So it's time for you to share your questions in the comment section and get all ready to click on the share button, because we are going to unveil the big surprise of the evening tonight. Indeed, as the world goes virtual, we are virtually bringing all of you to the solution of different challenges that we talked about just now. So guys, are we ready to do it? Give me a thumbs up if you're ready for the launch. Are we? Awesome. So let's get all geared up, guys. And I am really having goosebumps doing this. Indeed, with Research Next, Beyond 99, and Linkedpreneur working together, making sure that we can come in with 7 industry leaders' thought to help you get out of this entire chaos and pandemic in the more smoother and the faster manner. So, releasing to you 1, 2, 3. 1 second, guys. Yes, guys, so that was the wonder news, the surprise which I have, which we all of us have for everyone who's watching right here. Indeed, the strategy report, which has 7 amazing minds from Southeast Asia. Indeed, Aaron, I am going to go for this.
Yes, how about a big round of applause for the entire team?
So thank you so much. Absolutely. So everyone who wants a copy of it, either you scan it or check out the comment section. We're going to put the link right there. Go sign up now. It's available for free for all of you to go download the strategy report and hear, or I would say instead read, what those amazing minds have to say about the business strategy for 2021. Amazing.
Right, and it's as...
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Anil.
So I'm saying this launch cannot be complete without the mention of 3 more eminent personalities who couldn't make it for this launch. So it's Walter from Singlife, Ramesh Menon from Fever FM, and the last one is Johnny Widodo from OLX Group.
Absolutely, Anil. Indeed, guys, they couldn't make it for today's live session, but lots and lots of wishes for them, and we're excited to have their side of the story in the report as well, so you get to know them too. Chetan, over to you. You wanted to say something.
Right. Of course, I wanted to thank everyone who's here, who's dedicated their time, from Santosh to every guest that we had who shared their contribution in terms of the rebound strategies and the insights that they had from the industry. And for the listeners, for the viewers, it's as easy as hit your browser with strategy2021.linkpreneur.com to download a free copy of this business strategy report. So I'm just repeating it again, strategy2021.linkpreneur.com.
Absolutely, that's what you need to do. So I am going to ask Santosh. So Santosh, of course, it's been a wonderful journey working together with Research Next and yourself and the entire team. And I remember we used to go for hours of calls and just think about how to go about it, what to do, what not to do, and all of this. I'm sure you've had a wonderful experience. And today, for everyone out here, we're going to give you a sneak preview. Let's just dive into what our guests have touched upon in the report. But guys, we're not going to unveil everything. Download the report to find out all. But yes, of course, Santosh, over to you. I know you have some great questions. Please go ahead.
Absolutely. In fact, yeah. So I would never stop with my questions. So we had we had a lot of discussion with both Anils on the screen with Chetan, Kushbu, Ravi, Karun, and Aaron. And thanks everyone for participating. And I know you all dedicated a lot of time sharing insights for this report. But as we are on this session, let's discuss some key points that we discussed so that everyone who's joined in also knows what is there in the report and what's in it for them. So starting with my first question to Anil, you already mentioned you guys have done a lot of innovation. So what kind of innovation you see around within DHL, around other organizations during the new norm, and what do you think would carry forward from it?
So a lot of innovation which happened was around incremental innovation. So our core systems remained the same, but what we built is something like microservices, because that provided us a lot of flexibility at the back end. And the reason why I say that is when COVID hit, we had X infrastructure, we had to deliver 3X the volume. Now, when you have that kind of infrastructure, you need to immediately ramp up. How do you do that? Our systems have been built in such a way that flexibly we can recruit a lot of couriers and they can just download an app on the mobile that makes it very flexible. Our customers which have very disparate legacy systems or modern systems, or they have plugins, they can easily plug into our system and start. We made it very agile that way. So especially the companies which don't have a standalone system, but you're using platforms, they want to get onto online, DHL was already enabled over there, they could use this immediately. So I think those frontline innovations were able to be a reality because at the back end, we were so agile in terms of, flexing our system. So both for our couriers as well as for our customers, we had a lot of flexibility built in. The second thing that we saw was we had to really innovate in the way we dealt with the new norm. For example, in cross-border, so many people talk only about domestic, but in cross-border, there was an entire meltdown. Country after country shut down their borders. Airlines completely went down, like AirAsia also shared with you. They're completely grounded. So for us, from cross-border point of view, because we have a good network across the globe, we had to really innovate and see what is the best way of finding the path to a destination country. What used to take, let's say, 4 or 5 days to destination country in a hub and spoke model, not for an express delivery, but for a non-express delivery, we had to use multiple freighter alliances through our networks and ensure it reaches over there. And some of these, we also use road transportation and rail transportation to reach various destinations across the globe. So those are the kind of things which earlier we would have said this is not the right time to look at a rail transportation or road transportation for international borders all the way to Europe, but we started doing that. We really had to think out of our hats, out of our comfort zones, and there was no other option. We were completely to the wall. So I think those innovations started becoming a reality to make things possible.
I think so, Anil. I would just reflect here a little bit because of the pandemic. The innovations was somehow which was getting deterred. You didn't have anything to deter but to even bring it to life and make sure that it actually goes up.
Correct. There was no choice. You had no choice. You had to get out of comfort zone. And we were not looking at perfection. We were looking at progress. How progressively we can build something and provide an option to our customers, rather than shutting down everything and raising a hand. Sorry, we can't do it. But that was not something that we have really a can-do attitude in DHL, which we really practice because we believe that we are the logistics provider for the world. We better live up to it when a pandemic like this is there.
I think can-do attitude. That is a good pick here, which I would really want to reflect for everybody out here. So guys, if you're listening, do you have a can-do attitude? And we don't need the answer. If you have, we would love to receive a yes, because that would motivate others who are watching right now. And if they are feeling like, come on, I can't do it, it's too much already, and I just want to just let go, and it's just getting too much, your yes can actually motivate them. So don't say this yes to just for yourself, but for others, because if you have a can-do attitude, we just get that motivation and say, oh yes, man, it's a can-do and we'll make it happen. We'll go through it and it will run through it. So absolutely, there's no looking back. I love that DHL attitude, Anil, and I remember you shared about it in our last episode as well. Of course, now Santosh, we reflected on the DHL side. I'm actually excited to reflect on another aspect to it because it's quite extreme. And here comes, of course, Ravi, where we know how bad the travel industry has been impacted, and it's not only financial loss, there's a lot of emotional loss as well, which happens to an organization which is this huge. Even if it's small, it does happen. I would say it's a very normal thing to go through. With AirAsia not able to make the revenues, the turnovers which they could in the normal situations, what was the reaction like? Like, what did you guys go with? Like, how do you even survive? Because that was like a zero or even minus, because you had costs to bear and you had so much to take care of it. What's the way out that AirAsia found? Of course, today we know you guys launched other products, but that other products would have been a journey. And that journey is what I'm excited to hear about.
Sure, definitely. The pandemic, I mean, for most of the countries or for most of the industries, it's a sudden thing, right? So, but for us, we had a bit of a head start because a lot of our capacity was deployed into China. So we kind of thought, okay, it'll just stay in China, and then we just have to redeploy the aircraft somewhere else, and then we'll be good. But again, it started creeping in, and then we finally had to shut down everything, right? So, and that was a very emotional moment when you are a company where you face customers on a daily basis, right? You face millions of customers on a daily basis, right? So, and the operations of it is the most important thing that runs the business. And when that finally happened, when we had to announce and when we had to put every planes on the ground, people were emotional, and then that's where the leadership came in, and then just have to ensure that we're going to do whatever we can to keep the jobs up, to keep the business up and going, right? So, and that's when the culture of AirAsia also kicked in, right? So immediately we started to focus on customers, right? So for be it marketing or commercial or anybody or even pricing, we've decided it's not time to sell, it's time to serve. So because we have millions and millions of queries coming in for be it refunds or inquiries, and there are a lot of people stuck in different airports, people stuck in transits, right? So they had nowhere else to go. So we buckled up, and then we had to find a way to reach out to them and provide them the data and information that they need to get out of there and reach their destinations, right? And also we had a lot of emotional people reaching out to us. Some of them might be angry, and some of them surprisingly was helpful and asking us on what they can do to help AirAsia, right? So that was the initial reactions of the COVID, right? So right now when we in retrospect, it's dreadful actually when we think about it again, right? But we're glad that we went through that, right? So, and then we innovated, and then we transformed ourselves. Again, I mean, I might sound like a broken record, but it's all possible because of the people that we have, right? So so that mindset change, like Anil was saying. So what Tony Fernandez always says, we have two ways of dealing this pandemic. Either we put our head in the sand and cry, or we go out there and face it, right? So, and we chose the other option because that was the only option. And it's the pandemics or the crises are not new to AirAsia, right? So AirAsia saw SARS, AirAsia saw tsunamis, earthquakes, and all that stuff, right? So this is the only difference is this lasted much longer and less impact, but we're always kind of ready for it. Yeah.
That's indeed something which we as viewers could see AirAsia going through. I mean, I heard Tony talking on Clubhouse, and the kind of questions he was being shooted at, like some were like super rude and some were super warm. And so it's not easy for yourself and the entire team to go through, and we have that. And that's why I wanted to hear it. Of course, for everyone out here, Ravi actually talked a lot about what to do and reflecting on ancillary revenue. Of course, everything cannot be shared here. So if you want to find out what is that ancillary revenue side of the entire time the AirAsia was going through so much, what did they think about? How did they make it even possible? You get it through the report. And that report is right now available just at a click away. So I'm going to put this in the comment section for you to check it out. Of course, with this, before we bring in questions for Aaron and Karun, I'm sure Santosh has amazing questions for Aaron, and I would love him to share it. But our guest, we have some questions from our audiences. Are we ready to take those as well?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, super. So indeed, audiences, guys, this is a few questions are going to come right here, right now. So this is your time. I already have some, and my team has given me like quite a few already. So this is your time. Share your questions, and I'm going to bring in the first question. I don't know who it is for, so I'm going to read it loud, but I do know who is coming from. So the first question is coming from Kumar, who is the managing partner at SRK Consulting. I think, Karun, of course, you can relate with this more, no doubt. And Alok here. Hey, Alok, thank you so much for joining in on this episode and indeed sharing this question. So this question is, with remote becoming a normal, virtual interviews too will be normal way. It helps or not depends upon the ability of interview panel. I think that's not a question. My team actually wanted to give a shout out to Alok, and that's why they put across in for me. So indeed, Alok is just putting out his point of view where he says that where we have the abundance of so much of knowledge out here, it is the quality as well, which Alok is referring. So let's look at the question that's coming in next, which is from Joseph Prince. He's the sales and the marketing manager of C. That's what I can see here. Are there any hope for the deflation of logistic rates, which is inflated currently due to the pandemic situation? Now, do I need to say who is it for? So over here, Joseph is talking about the inflated rates, logistic rates, and indeed, I would actually. Okay,
Is it okay?
Yeah. Yes, indeed, please. Of course, Anil, you are the logistic king out here, and you would be the best person. But as you are answering, I would also love one more from the team here to reflect, because they are the consumers after all. So Anil, over to you, please go ahead.
So I think it's a good question. It's a logical question for anybody to have who is not in the industry and not doing the kind of job that we accomplish. But at the back end, I think it's very important to understand. And in fact, there are so many entrepreneurs on this call. Some of them are audiences. Some of them are people who belong to companies which are manufacturers and all. All of you would understand that to accomplish a particular job under the current pandemic, there are SOPs to be followed. Now, to ensure that SOPs are there, productivity takes a hit, right? If somebody does a time and motion study and relooks at the complete processes, the way they were done earlier and way they are done now, under the BCP, which is business continuity, things change a lot. It leads to increase in cost. So logistics cost is driven by adherence to these SOPs. Then there is a challenge of connection, availability of line hauls, or let's say air line hauls and sea line hauls. It's very clear across the globe there is a crunch of supply. There is a crunch of supply for sea freight, for example. You would have seen what has happened in Suez Canal. It has only exacerbated the whole situation. So it's a demand and supply thing. There are things which have to be transported one place to another. If we have to adhere to the service levels, we are supposed to make a choice of the kind of line hauls which are available, and we have to buy at that cost, because there are many ways of sending a shipment from one place to another. But when somebody comes to DHL, we always try to adhere to the service level which people originally and always enjoyed with us, and we try to bring under the current scenario the pre-COVID kind of SLAs. So there is a cost involved for doing it. Other than the fact that at the back end there's so many SOPs which lead to productivity loss because we have to adhere to it. and that also increases the cost. So do I see deflation? I do see deflation because rates have started going lower. But if, let's say, again, the lockdown start happening in countries, airlines will again start getting grounded. And we would see a reverse effect again. So rates might just come up. It's complete demand and supply thing. There is no extraordinary reason why a company like DHL would like to fluctuate rates in the market at their own whims and fancy. Everything is very transparent. Now, and this point I would also like to say, if you look at the domestic delivery markets across Southeast Asia or even in India, have you seen an extraordinary escalation of domestic rates? The answer is no, because that was within the control. I guess nobody talks about it because it's given. It's only the place where they see a change, they talk about why is it happening this way. But other places where logistics companies are doing things at the same cost, not taking the prices up, nobody talks about it. I think, to be fair, the businesses are doing what is to be done. And imagine we are the frontliners doing the deliveries while people are staying at home, right? So in a way, that's an obligation like other frontliners in other industries, like, for example, healthcare, or even, people who are cleaning the streets. They are ensuring streets are clean, so we remain at home and we remain healthy, right? We are also like that. So as part of SOPs and everything, there is a cost escalate, but there are places we can manage, which we did. But on cross-border, I think that's a challenge for everybody. Everything is transparent. Yeah.
Kush, you're muted.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's so obvious, Anil, that you mentioned, and I'm glad you reflected on the local rates as well, which has not been impacted to that extent. As you reflected on this answer, I would also love if anyone on the panel here would like to add their POV, because of course DHL has a thought, but everyone out here are consumers to them. So what do you think? I mean, Karun, Aaron, please go ahead.
I'd like to just add something. Like, I can't speak from the logistic part of things, but as a consumer, this was what happened to me recently. So, in my household here, we use kitchen towels quite a lot. You know those paper kitchen towels? So usually we go to Tesco or somewhere and just buy kitchen towels. But there's this time where we completely ran out of kitchen towels, and we were like, oh man, do I go out to Tesco just to buy kitchen towels? Cases are still kind of high, but you see the shopping malls is all full of people. And I was asking myself, should I go out or not to buy kitchen towels? Before COVID, I would usually just, okay, let's go out and buy kitchen towels. But for that moment, I actually asked myself, should I buy kitchen towels or not? But the end of the story is, we ended up buying kitchen towels on Shopee. Kitchen towels, out of all things. Shopee was having that free shipping. There was a promotion for the kitchen towel, and hey, I bought kitchen towels on Shopee. So if you ask me, do I think, will this really reduce? Maybe to some extent. But now it's planted an idea in my head that, hey, maybe, just maybe, I don't need to go to Tesco to buy kitchen towel. I can do it directly online.
I think that's the psychology and the mindset of the people, where the risk of health is something against getting a delivery done. Even if a penny extra, it's fine.
Right.
We don't want to get into that where it could be really chronic. Indeed, I also have a lot of love and respect for the frontliners, because they go through that day in, day out. The day when we go out, somewhere in our mind, we have that sense of fear. When I even press that lift button, the elevator button,
Right.
we go through some emotions when we even do that. And this was never the case. But the frontliners, they do it day in, day out, 10,000 times a day. Absolutely. So a big round of a salute for all the frontliners out here who's watching us. And if they're a part of your family, guys, you have made our life easy and possible in this pandemic. Absolutely. So, of course, I hope you got your answer. Kudos to Anil for taking it so courageously and being so candid with us and expressing what they have gone through. But with this, I'm ready to bring in the next question. Before, of course, we bring in the question from our side, let's take a few more audience questions. Are we ready?
Absolutely.
Okay, let's do it. So the question is coming from Yu Yong. He's a licensed financial planner. and he's asking, for the new normal, do you recommend to use only one platform which is already successful, or use multiple channels including different social media platforms? Now over here, because we know each other, right? And I kind of know that there are many who use multiple channels and there are many who use only single channel. So I would love it if there are two people who I would like to reflect. It would be great if you would like to reflect. One is Ravi, of course, with being a CGO to AirAsia. I think he can really put across a POV. Karun, because Karun is someone who's getting into the social media world and exploring and taking it to the next level. So there'll be two different sides of the coin that we will discover with this question. So Ravi, please go ahead, and then Karun, please feel free to add in.
Yeah, sure. I'll take that question. I mean, channels is just a medium of reaching out to customers, right? So yeah, you just have to follow where people are, right? If people are in Clubhouse, you have to go there. I mean, you have to talk. If your people are in TikTok, you have to go there. You have to dance, probably, right? So you just have to go there, and then where people are right now. So whether in pandemic or not in pandemic, channels doesn't matter. You always have to be present all the time, unless you have a channel that can reach to every single person on the planet. You don't have an option of staying in one. It's natural that one person is actually or one brand is strong in one particular channel, but you can always reuse the content with some tweaks. You don't have to create channel from the scratch for every single channel, right? So yeah, that's my take on that.
No, that was a good one, Ravi, of course, because it's the audience-based choice that you go for. But Karun, we see you pretty much very active on LinkedIn. Now, I would love to hear your POV and know, because the question is coming from LinkedIn as a platform as well. And please, what's your take?
Sure. So before I proceed, am I audible and visible properly? Because I can't see anything here on my side. All right, good. So see, I would like to continue it from where Ravi left. So like you rightly mentioned, as a brand or as a product or a service, you got to be in a place where you have a high propensity of finding your target audience. And I think one massive let's say change that we have all experienced from the brand side and also from the consumer side is the digital as the channel, if I were to summarize. So it's no more really about only social media or a particular media per se. It is really about how well or efficiently are you able to really connect digitally with your potential target audiences. That is number one. So technology becomes a big enabler. And second is again, see, with a lot of I think emotional turmoil and the overall feelings that everybody has kind of sailed through over last 12 months plus, probably it is important for any brand to really learn, and I think most of the good ones have also picked it up. It is no more really about hard selling. You cannot just sell. You at best can entice somebody to buy. So that there's a clear difference. I think a lot of reach has become very contextual. A lot of reach has become very subtle. A lot of reach has become very smart / intelligent in terms of first connecting with your potential set of consumers, and then, like I said, taking them on a journey which at the end of it, encourages and enables or empowers them to make the right buy decisions, and not really having, any direct sales kind of approach, irrespective of the channel that we use. So I think that's my 2 cents on this. I hope that helps.
You're on mute, Kush.
That was indeed a good one there, Karun. And this makes me reflect. In the report, I remember that some of you also talked about the audio channels. Now, I'm not going to unveil who did that, but indeed they talked about the audio side of the story as well. How is that taking over the world? And guys, of course, if you are there in a space where indeed Audio channels are something you're also wondering, then it's time for me to tell you. We, together with Research Next, have come up with a strategy report that can help you craft your business strategy for 2021 in a more navigated and a planned manner. So if you want to access it, just go to the link which is right there in the comment section, and I'm going to display it on the screen very shortly as well. And go ahead and have access to that report right here, right now. But with this, of course, I want to ask our guest, do you want to take more questions from the audience because they are shooting in and they are bringing in, or you want us to reflect on some questions? I'll let you guys choose.
I think we're happy to take questions, but I would like to add to the last question which came, if there is some time.
Please go ahead.
Yeah. So, as a logistics company, we see the business of e-commerce or services selling completely at the back end. We completely see how the business is moving because everything that gets sold gets enabled by us, right? So when somebody asks a question on what channels should I sell, I think the right answer for that would be that you should sell on almost every channel because the audience on different channels is different. For example, the audience which comes to Shopee is very different from Lazada, is very different from the one which comes to Facebook live selling, is very different from what would be coming very soon, a ByteDance e-commerce selling site, which is live streaming. Things are changing so much, and the kind of audience in each of these platforms is very different. For example, if you take China, so everybody, let me step back. In 2015, M-commerce was a buzzword. Everybody's saying that M-commerce is going to take over e-commerce, which it happened. But watch it in 2021 and 2022 in Malaysia and Southeast Asia, live streaming will completely take over other platforms. There would be lack of people who are live stream sellers who are doing a show in terms of ensuring a product are being sold because it will take off in a big way. Because it's entertaining, it's very engaging. You have somebody whom you trust who's selling it to you. And it's probably a celebrity. It could be a celebrity or an online personality or a social media personality. It's going to change. So my recommendation is always try different channels. And the reason for that is one of the most important things is acquiring customers and owning the data and retargeting those customers and growing them. This is something that many of the sellers should really master it because that's where they will get the actual growth and profitability from. So they should use these platforms very smartly.
I think, Anil, I'm glad that you came forward and you added. Please, to all our guests and as well as Santosh right here, feel free to go ahead and add in because the objective is not to cover many things, to cover wonderfully in depth that can make real difference to all our listeners right here, right now. Of course, we have exceeded our time and we never thought that it would go into such an amazing discussion. If all of you are okay, is it okay to extend the show by another 10 minutes before we wrap it up? Is it okay, or are we okay? I've got a go ahead from Aaron, from Anil, from Santosh.
Yeah,
okay. Karun and Anil. Okay, lovely guys. So imagine everyone who's watching us, let's give it a big thank you to all of them right here who has agreed to dedicate a little bit more time with all of us to answer your questions. Just imagine their excitement is with your questions so much. So guys, keep sharing it. I'm going to bring a few more up with you. And it's time for another question. Let's get all ready. It's also for everyone who have just joined in. Today, it's a special episode of Link Corner where we are launching a business strategy report with 7 thought leaders from Southeast Asia as collaborating with Research Next, Santosh himself, who is right here with us on the show as well. And if you want an access, you have the link right here. Don't keep it till yourself. Click on the share button, guys. Click on the share button. Click on the share button. Yes. And make sure that you give it across your community because it's free at this point of time. It's absolutely free, guys, at this point of time. So don't keep it to yourself. Okay, now it's time to take in the question. Okay, now this question is actually very exciting because it starts with the name of the guest out here. So there's Amandeep Kaur who has come up with the question, and she says, Aaron Fu, tagging her. So Aaron, this question is directly coming for you. He says, my question is to you. You are from psychology background as per your profile. Therefore, what drive you, or what was your calling in life which landed you into journey or the journey you are in today? So this question is one of the very fascinating question, because we all studied something and we're doing absolutely a different thing in our life. I mean, I was a finance major. I mean, that's a different story altogether. And today I'm running a marketing and an academy. So Aaron, I think Amandeep has gone through your profile upside down, and she knows you come from a psychology background. What is it that got you in this today?
Wow. Okay. So in a way, she went through my profile. She saw I did psychology. My degree is actually in psychology. My master's is also in psychology as well. But today itself, I'm in a very different space in startup and tech. I guess the main reason why, or the main calling behind it, is that to really understand people better. And once we understand people better, they're our customers, they're our users. And by understanding our users and customer better, we are able to respond and produce better products to suit our customer needs. And that's where I guess psychology, at the end of the day, it's such a broad thing about having that empathy with people, understanding people. And that's where it applies regardless of what field you're in. And I think as much as, yes, you can say that there's a degree in psychology and all that kind of thing, but we all apply it on a day-to-day basis, like how we're talking to each other today, how we think about our customers. That's all psychology. It's just that badge or that which says that, hey, degree in psychology, master in psychology. Yeah, that's just a sheet of paper, but we all do it every single day.
No, I think that's a good one. I would like to reflect on the other side of it, that whatever we studied, though we are not using that as a major thing to go forward with, like I'm not running as a finance major or something, or heading a finance department at this point of time.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean that it's not playing a role in my life. As running a business, we need to manage money, and that's a part of the process, and it helps a lot. And I think, Aaron, that's where your value and that's where your side of the story is also coming in. Amandeep, that was a great question. Does anyone want to reflect anything further on this question, or I'll go to the next one?
Hey,
Okay.
on a lighter note, I did the chemistry in my graduation, and I'm doing market research. But I must say, if you've done chemistry, you can make the best barbecues.
You need to invite us for a barbecue, man.
And Santosh, chemistry is also about what you're trying to do in your research. It's about your chemistry between your customers and your prospects, which is there.
Oh dear. Okay, but this, of course, as Santosh said, quickly, does Ravi and Anil and Karun wants to say what did they study, and we know what you're doing, but what did you study? Ravi, what did you study?
I studied computer science. I was coding like I thought I was going to be a hacker. So
Okay.
I mean, everybody thought I was going to be a hacker because I started coding really early, but now I ended up here selling stuff. So yeah.
Not bad. So that's evolution. How about you, Anil? I mean, Anil Gautam. Okay, now I have two Anil on screen.
Well, I'm a chemical engineer and an MBA. So somebody would ask, what is the chemical engineering doing in the management field? It's very simple. When I became a chemical engineer, I started selling chemicals. I became a sales guy, very much like Anil, the other Anil who's there. So that's where I entered sales, management and all. And then I got into proper management kind of a thing. So yeah,
How about
I think
you?
life is it.
No, because I agree with Anil Gautam. I think, Anil Meghani, you also have a similar kind of a background, right?
I did my graduation in physics and mostly nuclear physics. And you know what I'm doing right now.
Oh my God, we have chemical engineers, we have physics, and that is nuclear, and that we have hackers, possible hackers. Karun, how about yourself?
Well, again, I think an interesting combination because, and let me go back one step further. Let me talk about my even high school. So typically in high school, usually you would have, in India especially, you would have medical versus non-medical as a specialization, and the key difference is in non-medical, biology as a subject is not there, and on the other side, that's physics and chemistry. But the school where I, kind of graduated from we had to mandatorily take up all these subjects. So I studied physics, chemistry, biology, plus all the other subjects. That instead of perhaps helping me whether I would really want to explore engineering or medicine, maybe it confused me, because I studied everything then. And therefore, I neither became an engineer nor a doctor, and then probably, got into computer applications. When I did computer applications, with all distinctions and all of that, when I graduated, I again realized that though I understand computers or information technology, but I'm not one of those guys who can see himself sitting behind the screen coding for a number of hours and writing, complex algorithms or whatever. So then I took upon, MBA, where it was majors in marketing. And thereafter, I think I probably found my calling, and I knew now where I am headed. So I think that's how my journey has been.
So 2 strong takeaways for Amandeep and for everyone who's watching, guys. It doesn't matter what you study, right? You are going to land where you want to and what you're going to enjoy the most. And second thing is, it's a journey. You don't figure out immediately. So all the students, the university kids, and as well as even someone who is in their mid-30s, I would say, or even late 30s, 40s, you can just find your click at any given point of time. There is no age to it. There is no number to it. So don't be disheartened that probably you don't know and all of those things. Everyone at this point of time is getting there, trying to figure it out and just enjoying the journey. So I'm really happy, Amandeep, you asked this question. It got us to reflect to everybody's early childhood days and what they were studying.
And
But
Kush, Amandeep has also responded to Aaron. Quickly, if I want to quickly take that
Please.
30 seconds. Yes, Aaron, sir, I very much align with your field. I myself is from biotech, passionate about psychology and wanted to pursue business. Thank you for all bringing up this question, Kush ma'am.
Oh, so
Wow.
sweet. Thanks, Amandeep, for actually bringing up. You can see you took it to the next level now. Okay, guys, this probably will be the last question that we're bringing in from the audience. I say the word probably because really we are really enjoying it so much. But yes, Jocelyn. Hey, Jocelyn, it's nice to see you watching us. And indeed, so her question is, and she specifically says, question to each panel. Now, Jocelyn, with the time essence that we have here, I'm not sure of that, but yes, let's see. Marketing budget versus revenue, increased or reduced, and how much in percentage? Comparing 2020 and 2021, considering the change of the business landscape. I think that's a phenomenal good question because marketing budgets have taken to a different level. For some companies, they amplified it. For some, they just cut down to 0. So her question is, what's your take? It's marketing budget versus revenue, increased or reduced, in how much percentage 2020 compared to 2021, considering the change in the business environment out here. Who wants to take it first? I will actually.
Can I?
Yeah, please, Karun, go ahead.
Okay, so quickly, see what is important for probably us to realize is it is not just about a switch in the form of numbers, addition or subtraction. From where we see it, by talking to a lot of our customers, it is more of a realignment. So while of course there could be initial knee-jerk reaction was yes, everything goes for a standstill, it gets stalled because people actually needed time to rethink on their priorities and strategy for the new normal. And as soon as they were able to make sense of it, I think it was more of a diversion and realignment of the budgets rather than a steep cut down or a massive increase on both sides. Of course, I'm talking of a larger sentiment based on our interaction. Views could be different for sectors.
No, absolutely. I think, Karun, that's a good one. From everyone's experience, it has been different. Like, I personally love what AirAsia does in terms of the creative. I mean, I've always been a fan of AirAsia's marketing. And as soon as the pandemic came in, we know that one of the biggest spenders kind of had to cut down. So Ravi, what's your take on this?
Oh, my math is simple, zero. So no marketing budget whatsoever, right? So it was really simple for me to, just figure out the other things that I can do. Uh, what we leveraged on is our database, our customer database. What we leveraged on is our brand. What I leveraged on is our relationships. So uh, that's the summary of it, and that's the lesson that I also learned, because uh, building brand is so important, right? So the brand was sustained. The brand that we built over the years helped us do it, right? So if you're a startup entrepreneur, if you're an SME, don't neglect building your brand, right? So you always go into that measurement mindset. Okay, how do I measure brand campaigns? How do I see the ROI? You can't. No attribution in the world can't, right? So you can't get 100% attribution. So you just have to believe that whatever you spend on the brand is going to give some returns to you, right? So, and number two is actually, I would say you always have some assets, even if you don't realize that, and then you have to use it. Imagine you have 10 people or 20 people in your company, they can amplify the word better than one person, right? So I think you just have to find those assets and maximize it at this point. So for me, like I said, the math was simple. So I don't even have to go to the denominator of revenue versus spend, because the budget is also zero. Yeah.
No, so Ravi, are we expecting any change in 2021? Because the question also has a comparison. Are we planning in 2021 to see some spending coming from AirAsia, or it's still going to be the same and the focus will be on the community and the branding and the people side of it?
So we are finding innovative ways of doing our marketings this year. I think obviously the spends would be much lesser, right? So we had spent. I mean, our previous spends could easily fund, I know, Series A for a startup or a B for a startup, right? So, but not that anymore. But what we did is we kind of created a program within the AirAsia employees called Creation Badges. We're going to launch it very soon to the bigger part of AirAsia, so where they can actually become affiliates, right? So they can take a link of a product, sell wherever they want, and earn their commissions, right? So we're just finding those innovative ways. So our budgets are not going to go up dramatically in 2021. It's very unlikely.
I think, Ravi, I so relate with it, because we personally talk about humanization of the businesses and the brands, especially in this robotic world, where just marketing spend, which is the advertising spend, is not going to get them the growth they can ever expect. And I've seen ever since the show started, you have been talking about the relationship with people and all. I think that's where have got AirAsia's credibility, the brand still alive, and Tony Fernandez, of course, carrying it. The person behind it is itself bringing so much of value. Thanks, Ravi, for reflecting on that. Now, very quickly, Anil and Aaron, what do you guys have to say on this? If there's anything, because Jocelyn particularly mentioned each family, so I have to make sure that if there's anything you want to add to.
I think, from a DHL point of view, being in the logistics field, we got a natural swell in the business. Yeah.
Correct.
And being such a strong brand name in logistics, we naturally attract people who want to do business like sending shipments from one place to another. So we have never done so much of marketing because the brand itself is so strong, and we have a corporate branding team which comes out with various initiatives. But when it comes to micro SMEs, we do very targeted digital campaigns to go to that small entrepreneur who wants to start a business in e-commerce and would like a platform in which he doesn't need to spend so much money, but just test himself, get into it. We target those people through digital marketing. I think that spend for us is doubling, tripling this year. And by end of this quarter, we would be doing 4 to 5 times spend on that, because we're focusing on micro SMEs.
I think that's so true, because it's automatically that happen for your business, and that's a good side of the story, of course. And you have been on the product side of it. Is there anything to add?
Yeah, I think it's a very interesting question. I won't be able to give you guys any numbers, but I've spoken to people they've decided that since the lockdown, we're going to spend 3 times our marketing money on Facebook. I've spoken to people who decided that, hey, you know what? Right now, I have billboards up on the highways. I'm going to just take them down because there's nobody on the highways nowadays. At the same time, part of which we're starting to see people return back to the field as well. I was in Mid Valley earlier today for the first time in months, and I was surprised that, hey, there's so many people here in Mid Valley walking all around. It was a complete surprise to me. So part of this itself, I think it really goes to case depending on your business, what's your objective towards it. But I think one thing which really stood out during the COVID time and which we could actually learn and apply it even today is that right now we are really moving towards a more value-based marketing. Instead of just pushing people to buy, we are flooded with so many of those messages right now. And that if you're going to see another message asking you to buy something, you're probably just going to skip that ad or push it away. But if you're able to give value to people, then that's where people start staying with you and being an audience for you. I mean, we've seen how so many businesses during the COVID time started contributing back to society. They started helping up in different ways. And I'm not saying the boastful way, like, hey, I help these people, but that sincerity, that sincerity of helping people up really did bring up a lot more brand awareness compared to right now. I mean, Grab for Good as well, those brands which was being pushed out so much recently. Why? Is because it adds value to society. So I think right now, if you think about marketing, it's something which has changed. It's brought up a lot of new thoughts about marketing. And yeah, I think it's all about giving value today.
Absolutely. So, of course, I think there's so many different angles to this coming from the marketing background. Jocelyn, just to give my POV here, indeed, if you are asking the marketing against revenue, it's different for different segments.
Right.
Some people actually got an exponential ROI with their investments, and some did not. However, I would say if you are working with clients or you're personally working towards helping people like ourselves, one of the core things that has worked wonders is not the content which is generated internally, but externally has been performing 10 times better any day. And when I say externally, it means when you get your advocates, when you get your customers, when you get your influencers talk about the experience they have gone through, and not you going all out and talking about your product and service, has been something which is value, like what Aaron, Ravi, and Anil and Karun, everybody mentioned here. So that's a quick take on what Jocelyn said. And with this, of course, we are almost getting to the end, and we've exceeded by about 30 minutes. Imagine, guys, we love you so much, and everybody, all our guests love you so much, that they decided to spend some extra time with us. I'm not sure Ravi had some bad internet, but he has dropped out indeed. And with this, of course, Aaron, Anil, and Karun, a special thank you for joining us on this launch. Of course, I would love to say that I went through each one of yours feedback and the entire strategy. I was sitting and reading everything, not only the synopsis, but the detailed one. And it was amazing. Trust me, it was so amazing. Like each one of you had talked about so many different sides of the story. If I have to say BYOD, now what is that? I'm not going to get into the details of it, but yes, guys, download the report to get new values and new perspectives to your entire journey of strategizing 2021. And no other time is best than this, because you've already seen a partial year going out, and you could also see the second wave coming in. So it's going to just get you prepared in the best way possible. With this, I would love to get some final words from Aaron, Karun, Anil, and of course, I'm going to hold up Santosh a little bit longer to just have a quick chat. But yes, Aaron, Anil, and Karun, please do share your final words. Karun, can we start with you?
Sure. Is the dinner ready?
Oh.
The barbecue.
Sorry, that was on a light note. But yeah, I think I would really like to express my sincere thanks for you guys and the Research NXT team, because the whole thought behind trying to come up with something, by investing your personal time, energy, resources, which might really be helpful to a lot of people out there, is amazing in itself. So I think a big thank you to you guys, and a lot more success. Let's keep, helping people this way. I think that's what I would like to say.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Karun. Of course, I think it's only working together. And kudos to Santosh, Anil, and Chetan, who have literally worked hands-on on it and made it possible. Today, when I look at that report, it just makes me feel like, oh my God, we really did it. I mean, it wasn't an easy deal at all. And of course, let's hear it from Anil. What Anil has to say. Anil Gautam has to say.
Just before that, I'm saying, like the way Aaron says, hashtag better together. So I resonate that, Karun, with you. Yes, Anil, over to you.
Hey, thanks. I hope the audience over here, when they download the report, they really enjoy reading it, because it's a very candid kind of information that we have shared in very simple ways. Of course, different people who are part of the report have shared a different perspective, because it's always good to get perspective different, because everybody has gone through a different cycle of it, and there's no one template of dealing with the new norm. So the idea is for each one of you to take a perspective of where you stand and where do you resonate with what we have shared with Santosh and team, and see what is practical for you to implement and succeed. Let's get through this difficult times with as much as ease as possible, as least as pain as possible, and hope you find a lot of merit in this report. So thanks, Santosh and team, for bringing this to many people who can benefit from it from our perspective, and we're happy to share any questions that would come to Khushbu and team, and we will try to answer them as much as possible. All the best, everybody.
Hey, thanks a lot, Anil, for participating in this, and a pleasure having all of you guys on board. Karun, Aaron, you guys gave your time. I remember, we all had different setups while we were having this call. You were busy with a lot of other things that were happening at business, and you still took out time for this. So thanks a lot for giving us time for the interview, for the report, as well as the session.
Absolutely. I think, Aaron, over to you.
Right. Kudos to you guys once again for coming out with this, and it's a lot of work. I mean, mediating between so many different people to find time and putting all of this together, compiling it, it's a lot of work. And I believe it's something which everybody will benefit from. Those who download that file, I believe it's something which will benefit everyone. But this is something which was only possible because of everybody coming together. And if you think about coming together as a whole, COVID was also an opportunity for everybody to come together. Just like how the whole Linkedpreneur stories came together, right? It was an opportunity where, hey, you know what? Everybody is so distant right now. Everybody is stuck behind another computer screen. How about we bring people together on a platform? And that's where I think Linkedpreneur is a good example of bringing people together. And this is another opportunity where you guys have brought people together and have pulled out so much value, which I think a lot of people benefit from it.
No, of course. Thank you so much, Aaron. I would say it wouldn't have been possible unless we've got support and encouragement, and how you guys were equally excited about it to be able to create this valuable content. Of course, with the help of the amazing team that comes from the Research NXT, Santosh yourself, and as well as Chetan himself and Anil. With this, I would also love Santosh to add in. Santosh, please, how was your experience interviewing, and what do you think of the entire report, please?
Well, it was amazing when Anil and I started the discussion. Anil from the Linkedpreneur team started the discussion. I had, as Anil said, a lot of questions. What would exactly we be capturing, because this is some completely new. Nobody's ready with a playbook here. So if I ask questions to people, they might not be very sure about what they are suggesting, and would it be relevant later. But what I see, what has come out in the report, the input that everyone has shared, I was able to practically implement in my business. The hiring issue, Karun shared a lot of intel on that, and it helped us. Marketing from Ravi, pivoting in business, getting this customer sentiments right. There was so much of insight in every discussion we had with Aaron, with Anil, with Walter, all the guests that spoke to us, Ramesh, and it was great. It was a great journey for me, and without the Linkedpreneur team, without all the guests, it wasn't possible. And Chetan, kudos to him to bring it all together and then make the final report. And Kushbu, you've been always there supporting us and organizing all this, connecting with all the speakers. That was really great. So I truly enjoyed doing it, and I'm sure with the intent that we all created to help businesses around, I think this report is going to be really helpful for everyone.
Absolutely, Santosh. I think as we are looking back, I would say yourself, Anil, and Chetan, three people. You guys have worked so deeply in this entire report to bring it to life. It is beautiful. Thank you so much for making it happen. Thank you for all our guests. Thank you, Aaron, Anil, and Karun, for really, really believing in us, and as well as Walter, Ravi, and Ramesh, and indeed Johnny for joining us on this report. You guys actually, because based out of Malaysia, Singapore, India, and Indonesia, gave so many different perspectives. And as Anil Gautam just said, pick what works for you, pick what you resonate with, and implement it as Santosh already did it. I am picking things and making my strategies already based on that, because it's very exciting. It's actually very exciting because you go through one and then suddenly a new perspective comes in and you're like, okay, you have to look at this angle as well. Probably this was one of the biggest reasons why when we spoke about who to invite on this report, we had you wonderful people as the first pick. The reason being, your inputs could give different perspective, because not everyone will relate with everyone, but one person, yes, that's a possibility, definitely. So thank you so much, Aaron, Anil, and Karun. If there's anything you guys want to say, please do say. With this, of course, we'll almost call it an end to today's episode. But before that, I will actually play the launch video once again for our audiences to enjoy it. But yes, Aaron, Anil, and Karun, is there anything you want to say?
I think let's go for the video.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, so that was the big shout out that came from the video to everybody out here. Thank you so much for joining us on this launch. Before I say farewell and goodbye to all of the people out here, one word for 2021 that you would like to say. One word for 2021. Let's start with, okay, I'm going to actually start with Santosh here. Because, of course, Santosh, you have been an integral part of this entire journey, and you've heard them. You've heard all of them more than any of us. So you would give us the one word, or let's say one sentence if it is just too challenging for 2021.
I would say be resilient and bounce back.
Okay, not bad. Bounce back and be resilient. Okay, I love it. How about Anil, Gautam?
Dynamic.
Not bad. Anil actually went ahead with one word. Okay, that's superb. Karun?
Think radical.
Not bad. Nothing radical. And Anil Meghani?
Stay put, stay strong.
Absolutely. He took the most. Of course, he comes from the sales background.
Aaron is counting the number of words.
Not bad. Okay, Aaron, how about yourself? Now I'll do the counting.
Empathy.
Oh, wow. So,
Very good one.
very, very, very good one. Very good one. And I would just add myself, my side of the 2 words, not one. I'm going with 2, guys. Be together in this journey. So, with this, of course, thank you so much, Aaron, Anil, Karun, for joining us in this launch of the strategy report. We're definitely super. This is just the start, and there's a long way to go. We're looking forward to launching more of these amazing things to add value to everybody who's watching us right now. And for everybody who is watching, Ramadan Kareem, guys, and I hope you're enjoying the season of Ramadan with your friends, family. But stay safe, stay indoors. We do not want a 3rd wave or a 2nd wave, possibly in the countries wherever people are watching us right now. Just take care of yourself. Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Take care,
Thank you,
everyone.
everyone.
Ciao.
Santosh, 1 second before we give a final farewell. It was an amazing journey, and Anil, I could see the amount of effort that you put in and bringing all of this together with Chetan. Of course, the network, and we kind of couldn't get him. But Santosh, I would love you to give some final words here before wrapping it up. And indeed, I would want to also say something. It has been a wonderful journey to be able to coordinate and work together with the Research NXT team and yourself. I really admire the humbleness and the grounded personality you are.
Yes.
The more the people you know, the more the time you spend with them, you really identify the true self. And I deeply enjoyed the factor that the kind of, I would say, in one word, if I have to say, the kind of belief that you had after all the questions. And then you said, okay, let's do it. Once do it, there was no looking back. Of course, we all have challenges. We have priorities. We have work. And the same is the story as at our end. We saw a lot of ups and downs in this journey as well. But finally, when it has come to life, how do you feel about it?
Oh, as I said, awesome. Because when initially we thought about it, I was a bit skeptical, and once we finalized, of course, I was very sure that this is going to take place. I must say, it wouldn't have been possible without the guests that we got, and Anil and you guys bringing them on for the discussion was really great. For me, I always enjoy having these discussions and learning from great people. Apart from the guests who participated in the report, I learned a lot from the Linkedpreneur team, the Beyond 99 team. Where you guys were agile, managing things. We whenever we had discussion, and when I used to say, okay, let's set up a meeting invite and we will start, Anil would immediately send out a link and say, let's start. So going a little bit informal, I realized that it also works a great way. I like the way Chetan came up with the concept, the idea, the video for the report launch. So I would say this was one of the best report launches we had, and a virtual one. And truly enjoyed. I learned from each one of you, and I'm taking back a lot of learnings. And I'm sure, like, I've already started getting a lot of inquiries about how we did the report and how we can help others doing something similar. So I also look forward to this being a game changer for Research NXT.
Absolutely. I think it was a wonderful collaboration here. Where we brought in our wisdom and you brought in your wisdom, experience, and everything together. And finally, it is there, out there. So everybody, guys, what Santosh just shared is there at your click away, and you can just get direct access with this link, strategy2021.linkpreneur.com. Of course, it's a complete hard work, and all we want you guys to share it with at least 3 people out there. So there's no money associated with it. It's absolutely free. It's not only a 20-page report, guys. If you go click on it, each interview is there in detail right up on our website. So if you are interested to go in the details, click on the report. It will take you to the detailed inside of those discussions as well, and you will just feel like you're right there, you're part of that interview as much as Santosh was. So today I have to give a big thank you to Santosh, and as well as for Anil and Chetan for bringing it together and making it possible for the Linkpreneur team and the Research NXT team right here, right now. And if any organization is looking for this, please, you know who to get in touch with, and we would be able to empower it. But everybody who's watching right now, guys, you don't have to pay, but better together. So just share it with 3 people in your network, this link, and empower and bring a change in their life and help them navigate 2021 even better and smoother. So Anil, as we are signing off, what are your final thoughts?
No, I just want to do a quick shout out for Research Next to all our Southeast Asia community tribe to go and watch out this company, Research Next, which is a really very innovative market research company covering in-depth research, insights, expert views, latest trends for B2B technology, sales and marketing leaders. So go and watch out them and promote them. They are wanting to enter the Southeast Asia. And kudos to Santosh for partnering with Beyond 99 and Linkpreneur for coming out with this strategy report for Southeast Asia.
I'm so with you, Anil, and so with this, guys. Of course, I'm going to display the name of Santosh Abraham, who is the founder of Research Next. Guys, go disturb him on his LinkedIn. And indeed, and I'm sure he would love to get all those disturbance his way. And I would also like to mention, guys, even if you wouldn't want to get started, there is no harm in breaking conversation. Go all out and see how you can empower one another and bring a change to your journey. So, Santosh, welcome to Southeast Asia. I'm sure there's a long way to go for Research Next team here in Indonesia, Singapore, and Malaysia. And I'm super excited to see how we all are going to grow together with this year and years to come. So, to all the companies out there, watch out, guys.
Absolutely, I look forward to that. Yes.
Superb. So thank you everyone who's watching us right now and for being with us on this Thursday evening. I know the day would have been long for you, but that's the reason we love you so much. And we keep on just bringing these amazing things which are of high value. And even if you miss 5 minutes, you're actually missing the growth of 5 minutes. I mean it when I say it. So indeed, with this, calling it a night to everybody. Thank you so much. Thank you, Santosh. Thank you, Anil. And thank you, Chetan.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night. Keep growing, guys.
Absolutely. So here playing the video once again for everyone to watch out. Strategy2021.linkpreneur.com. Go get your copy right now and share it with 3 people. That is the way you say thank you to us, guys. We don't need thank you. Just share it with 3 people. That's all. And share this video. Till then,